Good evening. Welcome to our exciting topic today, hoping that this will help parents and caregivers understand normal behavior. Today, our topic is how to encourage positive behavior with children. My name is Anita Rothert, and I am a family life educator for the prevention program through the Guidance Center. I'd like to share my screen with you now. And let's get started. How to encourage positive behaviors with children? Tricky question, huh? The Guidance Center's mission is to nurture development, foster resilience, cultivate well-being. Our vision is to innovate leaders in programs, community engagement, and collaborate to create a vibrant future for those we serve. Now let's get started. What is a typical behavior? A typical behavior is an ongoing process. What I mean by that is every milestone of your children's life, they're going to incur many different behaviors. In young children, temper tantrums are very prevalent. Storming, crying, hitting someone, smacking, saying the word no. Those are all typical regular behaviors of young children. As they get older, even adults have different meltdowns and temper tantrums, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But remember, behavior is learned through modeling. Why teach behavior? If our child doesn't know how to read, we teach. If our child doesn't know how to swim, we teach. If our child doesn't know how to communicate with us, we teach. If our child doesn't know how to control himself, we teach. If our child doesn't know how to ride a bike, we teach. If our child doesn't know how to behave, we punish. Why is that? We're going to be talking a little bit more as we go on what the word punishment means. Is it the same as discipline? Ways to help our children thrive and become emotionally healthy. By hugging them, by active listening to them, by being truthful and honest, being open-minded, being together, doing things together as a family, trusting, setting quality limits, explaining things, encouragement, not being judgmental, respectful, supportive, returning emotions and feelings. And what I mean by that is labeling feelings so they know what they are, being empathetic to their children, learning what empathy is, discipline in positive ways so that they learn by their mistakes, and working cohesively together. When you think of discipline, what do you think of? Do you think of in the olden days that you had to write 500 times, I will be good, or sit in a corner with a dunce hat on, and what do children do? They laugh at you and call you names and make you feel really bad about yourself. That is not part of discipline. That's more punishment. Do you think of spanking, timeout chairs, spanking with a belt, turning a little person over their knee that has no concept of what they've done and spanking them, and screaming and hollering at them and causing them to cry? This is a form of child abuse. Remember, children are always learning and they're always developing new skills. To get along in the real world, children need simple guidelines for their behavior. setting limits, and setting boundaries. Parents have the responsibility of teaching their children how to behave. Even older brothers and sisters help by setting good examples. What is discipline? Is it the same as punishment? Absolutely not. Discipline is a structure that helps our children fit into the real world happily and effectively. It is the foundation for developing of children and helping them with their self-control skills. Effective and positive discipline is about teaching, guiding our children, not focusing on, I want them to obey me. We don't want our children to be afraid of us, but we do want them to respect us. Discipline teaches self-control. It teaches limits and boundaries. It teaches responsibility, taking ownership. It teaches that choices always have consequences. And discipline also teaches problem-solving skills, which we need throughout our whole life. Effective discipline should be based on love, understanding, and respect. And most importantly, it involves empathy and feelings of others. What are expectations and why are they so important? Let's look at the word expectation. Expectation is something that you teach your children. Everyone needs expectations that are consistent and predictable. Expectations are positive, specific phrases that help us remember how we should behave. Use your walking feet. Teeth are for chewing. Put your dish in the sink. Try not to use the word don't. Use phrases that are positive. Don't run in the house. Use your walking feet in the house. Don't bite your sister. Our teeth are for chewing. If we set examples early enough, our expectations will be considerably higher. Effective disciplines set limits with rules. Rules are very important in the household. Everybody needs them. Rules are really important and necessary. It helps children know what you expect of them. It also alleviates a lot of stress on the whole family when everybody knows what the rules are in the house. The entire family feel more comfortable and they feel more confident knowing what's expected of them. Family rules. Rules are really important. I always tell my families, the smaller the rules, the better comprehension level. Rules can be short and sweet and to the point. They should be positive. They should not be negative. Rules create stress-free environment for the whole family, and rules are also provide a simple structure, like use kind words. Always knock on your sister's door before entering. Always tell the truth. Make sure that we are learning techniques on breaking toys means no toys. Never tell a resistant child what to do. Describe what you're willing to do instead. What do you think that phrase means? It means, how can we avoid unwanted battles? Let's talk about the statement and what it means. When we tell a strong-willed child what to do, it gives them opportunity to fight back with us. So if we're telling the child what we're willing to do, it gives them opportunity for choice, and it also gives them opportunity for thinking. Thinking gives lots and lots of different consequences. They can be poor consequences for their actions, and they can always be positive. By using enforceable statements, I'll be glad to help you pick up the Legos, but I need you to pick 5 up first. That's telling them what you're willing to do, but something that they need to do as well. I'll be glad to help you with your homework, but let's try doing 2 questions first. Communications is one of the key factors in raising children. Giving clear expectations by telling your child what he or she should do rather than what they shouldn't do. Keeping your explanation short and simple, because small children have a limited vocabulary and limited attention span. Sometimes I used to tell my children that they have the attention span of a split pea, which is very small. As they grow, as they develop, as they have more self-control, that attention span gets larger. Be mindful of feelings. There's that word again, feelings. Label feelings. You will need to repeat over and over your feelings. I'm saddened by what you've chosen. That makes me very frustrated. If you're using feeling words, eventually your children will understand and be able to communicate better. A defiant child is the one who needs the most love and the most guidance. Think about yourself when you were growing up. Were you ever a defiant child? What happened? Did your parents punish you, or did they listen to your concerns? Let's take a moment and look at how to communicate good behavior.
Children do as you do. Mimicking you is the way they learn most things. So if you want to encourage them to do something, then you do it too.
Chewing? Good boy. You want to chew on this a bit?
Show her how you feel. Tell them how their behavior makes you feel by saying it as an I statement. I don't like it when you jump on me. Helps them see things from your perspective. They'll recognize how they would feel if the tables were turned, and this empathy will convince them to do the right thing.
I tried a few times in the last couple of days to explain to her that I feel things just as much, and it really works. It really makes her understand that, you know, what she's doing is hurting me, or what, you know, all those kind of things. Just switching the perception so she understands that I've got feelings too.
Catch them being good. Children are constantly getting things wrong because they are just learning. They'll remember criticism more than encouragement, so we have to overdo the positive to get the balance right. Try catching them being good because they need to hear 6 positives for every negative.
That's very good helping, Samson.
You watch that they've been behaving quite well for a period of time and you say, wow, you've been sitting there nice and quietly for so long. That's great.
It's so much easier to notice when they're doing something bad and then make a big hullabaloo about that. But I try, if I can, and see her doing something really cute like this, where she's just playing by herself. She can sit here for ages and play by herself. I try and grab those moments and say something that makes her feel really good about doing it. Hey, Elsa, that's so great how you're playing like that.
That's not much.
Okay.
I hear you. Young children still have trouble expressing themselves perfectly, which can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
Daddy.
I know you want to go outside, Bunny. So
You can avoid a lot of tantrums by active listening, where you repeat back to them what you think they might be feeling.
I know you want to go outside.
Daddy.
Can we get ready then go outside?
No.
They tend to relax just knowing that you understand. Keep promises. One of the most important things to preserve with young children is trust.
We make a deal with her. It's generally because she wants to go for a walk at sort of 8 o'clock at night and it's bedtime. Instead of saying just no, you make a deal and say, if you stay here and you sleep all night and go to bed, then tomorrow we'll go for a walk. And she generally accepts that.
If you are honest with them and keep your promises, they can trust you, and that will make all the difference. Reduce temptation. Children learn best by exploring. Let the cupboard latch be the bad guy so you don't have to.
You don't want them to be told no all day. You know, the glass vases that used to be out have to go up high, and the DVD player that they can get their finger jammed in has to have a little cover over the top.
The kids want to be where you are, and if you're in the kitchen, she can actually open this drawer and she pulls out, you know, there's all sorts of stuff, and, you know, nothing that can really hurt her.
Don't have anything you couldn't afford to get broken. And if you do, you put it away for the time being, because this is kind of their world and they will only learn from exploring it.
Choose your battles. You don't have.
Choose your battles. Absolutely. Some things we need to let go and try for another day. Let's look at positive reinforcements. Children always repeat the actions they are praised for. What's in this picture? They're sweeping. You can say, wow, I'm so proud of you for helping your brother sweep. Children give up when their actions are ignored by others. Words of advice: be consistent. Discipline the same way every time the same behavior occurs. Be fair. Your discipline may vary from one child to the other according to their age. Be firm but loving. It doesn't cost anything to hug your child and tell them how proud you are of them for all of their good behaviors. And most of the time, their negative behaviors will dissipate over time. Be a bucket filler. What do I mean by that? By constantly setting good examples as a role model. Make time for your feelings. Catch your child being good. Provide clean expectations and clear and follow through with what you say. I always tell my parents, do what you say and say what you do. Use whispering words instead of screaming words. You get more attention by your whispers than you do by your screams. Practice your coping skills. Focus on the behavior, not the child. Be firm but loving. Give children choices, because choices plus responsibility equals consequences. Choose your battles. Don't be a garbage filler. When you're constantly saying, don't do this, don't do that. Don't call me names. Don't call your children names. My one daughter used to call me a butthead sometimes, and I would say, oh my gosh, what does a butthead look like? Only look at the positive behaviors. Try to ignore as much of the misbehaviors as possible. I'm not telling you to ignore everything, but sometimes when our children are having a temper tantrum, just walk over it or walk away and just tell yourself, I'll address this when they're calm, because no child is going to listen to you when they're having a temper tantrum or a meltdown. Don't use physical punishment. Children understand that role modeling is key. If you're hitting your child, what does that teach them? That hitting is okay. Remember, how we say things is just as important as what we say. Remember to send kindness, firmness, and sincerity. When we're kind and when we're firm and when we're sincere, we can also discipline our children in positive ways. Any questions or thoughts? Thank you for attending today. Children take more notice in what their parents do than what they say. Absolutely. You are going to have struggles. I'm not going to lie. Being a parent is the best job that you'll ever have, but teaching them to be positive and teaching them to express their feelings and communicate directly is the key. And most importantly, empathize with children teaches them dignity. Thank you and have a wonderful day.